Welcome to the Ancient Cookware channel, where on every episode, we show you different aspects of our products, such as how they are made, how to use, cure, and use our products, how to properly care for them, and even recipes which you can use to get the most out of our products.
In this episode, we are going to show you how the rustic clay pots from Pereruela, Spain are made. Spain, known the world over for its people, its culture, its art and architecture, and its food. Oh, its glorious food. And just as famous as its foods are the clay cazuela used to cook many of the country's favorite recipes. Down in northeast of Madrid, there is a town almost entirely devoted to the making of the rustic clay cazuelas we produce. Our artisans use the clays found only in this region, which have extreme refractory properties. And with it, they make the beautiful and world-renowned pots and cazuelas from Pereruela. The process begins with the artisan placing a piece of clay of an appropriate size for the ultimate piece he will work on. He flattens the clay out into a disc shape, continually flattening the disc until it reaches the thickness needed to form the base of the pot. He wets the clay and begins to smooth the clay disc with a wooden tool. Working with a metal spatula, the artisan works from the outer edge of the disc, reducing the size of the disc, and begins to raise the walls of the piece. He closely monitors the size of the pot to make sure to produce uniformly sized pots. To continue to build up the walls of the piece, the artisan needs to add more clay to the walls. He does so by rolling bread loaf-sized rolls of clay using gravity to help him form the loaves. He then gradually adds the clay around the circumference of the piece. With the walls roughly in place, he smooths out the walls with his hands, applying pressure from the inside of the piece to make the walls the desired thickness. The process is made easier with the help of an adjustable speed electric motor, which can spin the turntable in either direction. In the old days, the wheel was powered by the foot of the artisan. The artisan trims the top of the pot with a blade and continues the smoothing process with a metal spatula. Eventually, he switches to a wooden spatula, which makes the outside of the pot extra smooth. He ensures the height of the piece and once again trims the top to the appropriate height, using the turning turntable to make an even cut. To smooth the upper lip of the pot, he uses a piece of wet leather and slowly smooths the rough edges. The artisan then gives it one last smoothing on the inside and trims any excess on the base. With the only thing left to do is to draw the characteristic lines on the outside of the piece. To make the lid, he basically starts the same way as the pot, making a flat disc with his hands and smoothing it out. After trimming the disc to the appropriate size, he raises the edge of the lid with a metal spatula, eventually smoothing the edge with a wet piece of leather. To make a lid knob, he starts by scoring the top in the location where the knob will be placed to ensure the knob sticks to the top, then places a small piece of clay in the middle of the lid and begins to form the knob with his hands as the turntable spins. Using a wet piece of leather, he finishes fashioning the knob in the traditional style of Pereruela. The pieces are left to dry for about a month, sometimes longer in the cold winter months. The pieces must be totally dry before putting them in the kilns, otherwise The clay cracks with the heat. After dried, glaze is applied entirely on the inside of the pot and, per local traditions, only partially on the outside. And once again, left to dry. The pieces are then put in large kilns and fired for about 10 hours to above 1900 degrees Fahrenheit, producing the beautiful and well-known terracotta-colored pots and cazuelas.